Talking Points with Keith VAZ on Leica Radio 1458 AM.
Leica Radio.
Good morning. Welcome to Talking Points with Keith VAZ on Leica Radio 1458. Thank you for joining me today, Sunday the 26th of April 2020. This week, we celebrated the Queen's 94th birthday. So from all of us at Leica Radio, happy birthday, Your Majesty. On today's programme, I will be talking to a British Indian TV actor who is also the star of the stage and the big screen, as well as to the Mayor of Tower Hamlets, John Biggs, Neelam Agrawal Singh from Northampton, and the Chief Executive Officer of the British Asian Trust, Richard Hawkes, about the new coronavirus appeal that was launched this week by Prince Charles. We will be starting shortly. This is Keith VAZ on Leica Radio 1458.
Leica.
This is Leica Radio.
Welcome back. This is Keith VAZ on Leica Radio 1458. My very special guest this week is BHASKER Patel, one of Britain's most prominent Asian actors and a real star of stage, screen and television, watched weekly by between 7 and 10 million people as he appears as Rishi Sharma on Emmerdale Farm. He's talking to us this morning from North London. Good morning, BHASKER.
Good morning, Keith. Thank you.
Now, North London, and indeed Yorkshire, is a long way away from where you started off. Born on the 7th of February 1956 in Kampala, Uganda. So you are a pucker East African Asian. Do you remember much about Kampala in Uganda?
I do. I have vague memories of my father's provision store. And Keith, I used to, in a jute sack he used to sell sugar. And I remember I would dip my tongue in it and eat sugar. And my dad would say, "What are you doing?" It's those Asian things always have a kind of a sweet taste, sweet tooth. We had home help, and he used to take me to the railway go-down with the railway yard where I grew up. I grew up in Lugazi. I was born in Kampala. But Lugazi had a sugar cane factory. I think it was owned by one of the Madhwanis or our other Gujarati family. And I remember in all the sort of the railway yard where they would offload sugar cane and then sugar. I remember our courtyard, and I remember a couple of rose bushes.
So when you had to leave, as you had to in 1962, was it a big wrench going from what must have been very leisurely for you? After all, you only left when you were 6 years of age, and you ended up back in the Gujarat.
In Gujarat, yes. What my father did, Keith, my father realized that after Uganda became independent, a lot of men like him, they packed their wives and their kids back home either to Punjab or Gujarat. In our case, Gujarat. And we went back to our ancestral place in Gujarat, a small town now called Ras, which played a very big part in the Quit India movement. So we ended up back in our ancestral place. My father stayed behind.
He stayed behind to look after the sugarcane business, or to
look
just
after
because he didn't
the shop, the provision store, and then he would provide for us. So he looked after himself, and then he would send money for 4 daughters and a son and a wife.
Gosh. And then, having stayed in India for 10 years, so by this time you were 14 years of age, you arrived in the UK. Why did you come here and not stay there?
Well, no, Keith, I was 17. I passed my matriculation in our town. And then at that time, my father decided to bring me over here. By that time, he had come from Africa, Uganda, to Britain. And he invited me over here, like, what Asians do, give patience so that he can look to the family. So that was the idea.
And did you come with siblings or just on your own?
All my 4 sisters and mother.
Right. And settled where in England?
Settled in North London in Haringey, good old Haringey.
So you've not moved very far from there. If you're talking to me from North London now, you're a North London boy.
I'm a North London boy. I'm a Haringey boy. I used to love when Bernie Grant in House of Commons used to give Margaret Thatcher a hard time. I used to love it because he looked after people. So I came to Haringey, where apparently I've been told that immigrants, when they come to Britain, they set themselves up in Haringey.
And then, of course, the entrance into acting. What made you suddenly go into acting, whereas everyone like you was obviously given given the choice of being either a doctor or a doctor?
Well, doctor or a shopkeeper or a chemist, like you said, a pharmacist or optician. In my case, when I came here, I could not speak English. Although I did English in my matriculation. I did 4 languages. I did Gujarati, Hindi, Sanskrit, and English. But when I came to Britain, of course, my English was zilch. So I had to start all over again, Keith.
Well, we're going to take a short break, but before we do that, you've chosen 3 songs for us. Tell us what your first song is, and tell us what it means to you and why you've chosen that one.
My first song is Vande Mataram, which was written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. Now, in my school, every day, in my high school, every day we would sing either Jana Gana Mana or Vande Mataram. I wish that Vande Mataram was India's national anthem. Now, this song, it means a lot to me because it just says, Mother, I praise thee. And then it just goes and on, valuing your mother. And Vande Mataram, I sang that every day.
Good. Well, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to be back talking to BHASKER Patel.
Talking Points with Keith Vaz on Leica Radio 1458 AM.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Leica Radio 1458. Thank you for rejoining me. I am talking to my very special guest, BHASKER Patel, who is joining me from North London. BHASKER, you went into acting, and what was your first experience? Was it stage, screen, TV or radio?
My first job was on TV at Pebble Mill, which gave me my equity card. It was those days when without an equity card you could not work, it was catch-22. But on this drama, Play for Today, which Pebble Mill were famous for, they needed an Asian character, and they could not find one. So in my case, I fitted the bill. That was my entry into my profession.
But when you started, were there many Asian ethnic minority actors that were available? You said you were the only one who was able to be chosen.
Well, there weren't that many. And you had, of course, our dearly departed Syed Jeffrey, then Roshan Seth was around, Zia Mohyeddin was around, and you had other actors who were in Mind Your Language, Ain't It Half What Mum, but they were a lot older than myself. My contemporaries weren't around, or they were sort of starting to go to a drama school. I started my training at a drama school, and then within 3 months, I was lucky, and I got my equity card. So when I went back to drama school, they said, look, just go out there and actually be in the profession. Just learn by working.
And then you did some stage and some radio.
Yeah.
Of different ways, and you've acted. You've been a film actor, you've been a stage actor, radio and TV. Which did you, looking back at this remarkable career, 147 stage films, radios, I've counted. I'm still counting. Which do you now look back on and think you enjoyed that the most? Which medium was your medium?
I would say film medium. What used to happen to British actors was that you come out of a drama school and then you go straight into theatre. But of course, later on, when Margaret Thatcher then took away the funding, those jobs just went away. The theatre jobs went away. In my case, I never had a kind of a film experience right at an early age. Yes, I did a small part in Octopussy. Roger Moore was the James Bond, and I had a small part in Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom. But those were small parts. Until in 1987, two German young filmmakers came over here to look for an Asian actor to play the lead. That gave me film experience. I learned a lot by playing the lead part in Germany. This was before the Berlin Wall. Prior to that, I had no film experience. TV parts were tiny. They were like coffin spit. Playing a waiter or playing a shopkeeper, saying, "Please take my money, don't rob me." They were small parts, basically.
Yes. But looking at the films that you were in, there's some very impressive ones. Bridget Jones, The Edge of Reason, Thunderbirds, Mad Dogs. These are big films, aren't they?
Yes, yes, they are. I was quite lucky. In my case, Keith, every time I met a director, I always got the part. I might not have been the right person, but he or she would go, I want to work with this guy. And they would change the kind of a character to suit around me. So then I ended up working with people like Robin Williams. I was with him for a month and a half in Morocco in a film called Being Human. Bill Forsyth wrote it, directed it, and David Putnam produced it. And then I worked on Thunderbirds, playing opposite Ben Kingsley. I was playing half-brother.
Now, I have to tell you, Thunderbirds is, when I came to Britain in 1965 when I was 9, this was my favourite programme. And one of my favourite characters was the character that you played, which was the faithful Kirano. And I'm going to give you my impression of what Kirano sounded like. And I want you to tell me how it should be done so people can actually see the difference between my version and yours.
Sure.
Mr. Tracy, can I do anything for you, Mr. Tracy?
Show us how it should be done.
Well, in my case, I wasn't a puppet in there. We were at Pinewood Studios with everyone there, with real people. So I would say, Mr. Tracy, I need your help. And of course, my daughter there, she was in love with one of the Tracy boys. It was fantastic. That experience was absolutely brilliant. And filming opposite Sir Ben Kingsley. They kept saying to me, "Oh, have you met Serby?" And I thought, there isn't a Russian actor in here. His name is Serbi.
Yeah.
Little did I know that, of course, it was Sir Ben Kingsley, Serbi. Really,
Indeed.
really an amazing person to work with.
We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about the entry into Emmerdale and the difficulty of coping with those remarkable Sharma children. This is Keith Vaz on Leica Radio 1458, talking to my very special guest, Bhaskar Patel, the actor of stage, screen and television. Join me again after the break.
This is Talking Points with Keith Vaz on Leica Radio 1458 AM.
Leica.
Anil's on his phone right now, but he's not checking the cricket scores again or scrolling through photos of other people's lunch. He's actually sending money home.
Hey Ma, this should help with the bills.
Like Anil, you can send money with TransferGo, the money transfer service that runs on Ripple. Visit transfergo.co.uk and send money to India in 30 minutes. TransferGo. High speeds, low fees, and no hassle. TransferGo is regulated by the FCA. T's and C's apply.
Fantastic offer. Get unlimited 4G data, UK minutes and UK texts for just £19 for 30 days. That's unlimited 4G data, UK minutes and UK texts for just £19 for 30 days. This offer is available for new and existing customers when you buy online. Unlimited plan means unlimited family time. Visit likeamobile.co.uk/unlimited for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Leica Mobile.
Are you talkative and witty? Are you up to date with what's going around in life? Then we need you to entertain the whole of London through radio. Leica Media is looking for presenters for Leica Radio 1458 and Dilse 1035. Send your CV with your voice demo to Rupi, that's RUPI, at leicaradio.com.
This is a message from the government. Coronavirus is a national emergency, life-threatening for people of all ages everywhere in the UK. To help save lives, stay home. Only go outside for food, health reasons, daily exercise or to work, but only if you cannot work from home. Stay home. Anyone can get it and anyone can spread it. Coronavirus. Stay home, protect the NHS, save lives.
वो सहरी के दस्तरखान, वो इफ्तारी की महफिलें, वो नमाज और तरावी के हजूम, वो रोजे की बरकत, देखो अल्लाह की शान। माह रमजान और साथ ही आपका मेजबान रॉकी खान माह रमजान के खसूसी प्रोग्राम वक्त सहर और वक्त इफ्तार और पांचों वक्त की अजानें लाइका रेडियो और दिल से रेडियो पर लेकर हाजिर हैं। ये खिदमत तारिक हलाल मीट वालों के ताउन से पेश की जा रही है। तारिक हलाल अब अपनी 15 ब्रांचेस के हमरा और बेशमूल हैरो विल्डस्टन में पहले तारिक सुपरमार्केट के साथ फ्रेश हलाल मीट वाया ऐप और ऑनलाइन वेबसाइट से होम डिलीवरी और सेंसबरी की बेशतर ब्रांचेस में ताज़ा हलाल मीट दस्तयाब कर रहे हैं। तारिक हलाल मीट, हलाल है तभी तो बाकमाल है। मजीद मालूमात के लिए विजिट कीजिएगा tarikhalal.com।
This is
Leica Radio.
Talking Points with Keith Vaz on Leica Radio 1458 AM.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Leica Radio 1458, talking to my very special guest, Bhaskar Patel. Bhaskar, the big break. Obviously, you've done 147 pieces of media over your career, but the biggest break of all came when you got the part of Rishi Sharma. How did you get this amazing opportunity?
I was, in the beginning, when they were looking for this regular part, they looked at Asian actors coming from Yorkshire because they wanted a kind of a real, authentic Asian actor who grew up in Yorkshire. So I wasn't included in the the first round. They were unsuccessful, and hence they started sort of opening up the area. They came down south, and hence I got lucky. And I thought, oh my God, I cannot do... Keith, I'm not very good with accent. I'm there once I'm in that area, but some actors, they can switch on and off so quickly. I'm not very good at that. I got lucky, they gave me a part. I actually had a beard, because having a beard, it gave you good roles, filmic roles. And also, you must remember, after 9/11, a lot of Asian actors had to play baddies, basically. So having a beard, it sort of gave me a lot of roles. When Emmerdale came to me, they said to me, you'll have to shave that off for the screen test. And I said to my agent, I said, it takes at least good 2 months to grow a good beard to play a good part. And if they reject me after the screen test, then what? And then my agent said, well, it's a chance you take. And I took a chance. Shaved it off because they wanted a very successful Asian business who was very handsome, hardworking, and they wanted a clean-cut image. So
sure.
Yeah, I just...
But you've stayed there now for 9 years. You're one of the most popular people on any soap program. And you've got, of course, your children, Priya, Nikhil and Jay. You've got a new partner, Manpreet. You've survived all kinds of crises. When do you know that the storyline is going to change? I think this is something that all soap followers want to know. How early do they tell you that you're going to be, for example, in a fire, or you're going to be in a crash, or something's going to happen? What kind of notice do you get? And do you have any chance to say, sorry, Rishi wouldn't do this?
You actually don't get a chance because your life in a soap, it's a kind of you're on a kind of it's a rolling contract. You get your scripts 2 weeks in advance, 2.5 weeks in advance. If you disagree with one or two things, you can raise those issues. But actually, my character, it's owned by ITV. They guide me. They'll take me wherever they want me to take. They have yearly meetings. So even now they're discussing, although we're in a kind of a lockdown, they're discussing what will happen to, for example, my character and our characters in 2021, Christmas 2021. What will happen then? So we do not have a say. Now and again they do if they feel that they want our input. So yes, but otherwise I'm in their hands.
As far as the public is concerned, when you finish filming and you come back to London, or you go to Sussex or wherever, and you go shopping, you're in Waitrose, do people come up to you and still talk to you as if you're your character? Can they make the difference?
Because they call me Rishi from a distance. Rishi, being in a soap, the life changed. For example, just right now, I was out here collecting medicine for Mom, who's 91. And of course, someone straight away said, so you're not filming. And of course, how's Rishi? And people talk to you as if they know you. And of course, you have to acknowledge, and people are very, now and again, you have one or two people, they can be annoying, but you've got to take it on the chin, because without them, we're nobody.
But you're a nice character in there. You're not one of the difficult ones, are you?
No, he's a patriarch. They told me that, look, we want Rishi to be a kind of a father figure who actually helps everyone out. And actually, in a way, I really like that as well, because that's me as well. My mum always, when I grew up in Gujarat, said, it doesn't harm you by helping people. And so that sort of shaped me as well. That shaped Bhasker.
Sure.
And once you're in a soap, they also work around you, actually. But he has a lot of comical moments as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to take another break, and we're going to be back talking to my very special guest, Bhasker Patel. You're going to choose your second song, and you're going to tell us who it's dedicated to and why you've chosen it.
Well, as I just mentioned, my mom, this song, it's a bhajan, devotional song, Vaishnava Janato Tehne Kahiye, by Narsi Mehta. He was our poet. And the poem speaks about life ideals and mentality of a Vaishnava, how a good Hindu would behave and conduct his life.
Stay tuned. This is Keith Vaz on Leica Radio 1458, talking to Bhasker Patel.
वैष्णव जन तो तेने
Leica Radio.
This is Talking Points with Keith Vaz on Leica Radio 1458 AM.
अनिल फिर से अपने फोन पर है, लेकिन वो क्रिकेट स्कोर्स नहीं चेक कर रहे हैं और ना ही देख रहे हैं दूसरों के लंच की तस्वीर। वो एक्चुअली घर पैसे भेज रहे हैं।
हे माँ, इससे बिल्स के समस्या के साथ मदद हो जाएगी।
अनिल की तरह आप भी TransferGo के साथ पैसे भेजिए, द मनी ट्रांसफर सर्विस जो रिपल पर रन करता है। विजिट transfergo.co.uk और इंडिया पैसे भेजिए सिर्फ 30 मिनट में। TransferGo, हाई स्पीड, लो फीस एंड नो हैसल। TransferGo FCA द्वारा रेगुलेटेड है। T's and C's अप्लाई।
अरे वहाँ क्या हुआ है?
लगता है पड़ोस में चोरी हुई है।
भगवान करे हमारे साथ ऐसा ना हो।
परेशान ना हो, मिस्टर मल्होत्रा से नीलकंठ सेफ डिपॉजिट के बारे में सुना था, कल ही जाते हैं।
नीलकंठ सेफ डिपॉजिट करे आपकी कीमती चीजों की हिफाजत। FCA regulated 24/7 proven trust and integrity. Neelkanth Safe Deposit at 2 Beaconsfield Road, Southall, UB1 1BA. Call 020-8843-9920. And now open in Croydon at Brighton Road. Call 020-870-28888.
Hey, pretty smiling people.
At Morrison's this Ramadan, selected packs of Medina dates are £3 each and Ramadan countdown calendars are £1 each. Morrison's. Selected stores only. Dates 200 grams to 500 grams. When it's gone, it's gone. Calendar 100 grams. Online varies.
Due to high demand, Leica Mobile Alcatel handset offer has been extended. Alcatel 3X, only £3 per month. Save over £40 with this offer. Alcatel 1C, buy it outright only for £39. Save £10 with this offer. All the products available to purchase via flexible payment options by Klarna Finance. Visit eshop.leicamobile.co.uk. Offers valid until 30th of April. T's and C's apply.
Are you talkative and witty? Are you up to date with what's going around in life? Then we need you to entertain the whole of London through radio. Leica Media is looking for presenters for Leica Radio 1458 and Dilse 1035. Send your CV with your voice demo to Rupi, that's RUPI, at leicaradio.com. क्या आपको कैश की सख्त जरूरत है? साउथ होल्ड्स मोस्ट ट्रस्टेड वसीम ज्वेलर्स कैन हेल्प यू। गोल्ड के बदले कैश दिलाते हैं। कॉल वसीम ज्वेलर्स फॉर बेस्ट रेट्स फॉर योर गोल्ड। 0208-571-1193. wasimjewelers.co.uk.
Are you building your business or promoting a brand? Do you need new customers? Or do you need to keep your name in the mind of all your customers? Then you need to advertise on Leica Radio 1458 and Dilse 1035. Our stations cater for a large audience of South Asians who live and work in and around Greater London. Call our experienced sales team on 0207 132 1458 and you can be on air in no time at all. That's 0207 132 1458.
This is Leica Radio with the latest traffic and travel next.
Pakistan is calling. The mobile plan you've been waiting for has arrived. You can now get 1,000 minutes to call Pakistan from your Leica mobile with Pakistan Plus M bundle. You can also get 3 GB of data and 1,000 minutes and text in the UK. All of that for the low price of £20 for 30 days. Never miss the chance to keep in touch with your family again with Leica Mobile. Visit leicamobile.co.uk to see the full offer today. T&Cs apply. Leica Mobile.
Leica Radio Travel Update.
I'm Paula Brett. In East Ham, Park Avenue is blocked in both directions by an accident. That's from Barking Road to Nelson Street. Finsbury Park now and Seven Sisters Road is closed in both directions for roadworks this weekend. That's between Finsbury Park Station and the 12 pins traffic lights. Looking into Ruislip, where Ducks Hill Road is also closed in both directions. Again, that's down to water main work between Reservoir Road and Jackets Lane at Northwood. Onto the trains now, and no service for Great Northern between Finsbury Park and Moorgate because of engineering works. Engineering works mean that buses also replace South Western Railway as well. That's between Richmond and Hounslow and between Richmond and Teddington. And of course, the usual restrictions continue across the London Underground network. No service at all for the Circle or Waterloo and City lines. And that's the latest traffic and travel.
Leica Radio.
Leica Radio.
Talking Points with Keith Vaz on Leica Radio 1458 AM.
This is Keith Vaz on Leica Radio 1458. Thank you for joining me this morning. I have a very special guest, BHASKER PATEL. I've been talking to him about his life and career. BHASKER, I've noticed that you've been to quite a few hospitals as a character. You've been to Casualty on 3 occasions. You've been on Holby City. Are you often found on television hanging around A&E?
I think if you, as an actor, if you haven't been in Casualty, it showed that you haven't been working hard. Nearly everyone's been in Casualty, or A&E, which was an ITV drama, and Holby City.
Now, when you started, of course, it was very unusual to see an ethnic minority person in a series. You talked about the ones that were seen. But now, of course, you cannot have a soap opera without having a black, Asian or minority ethnic family in the village or in the street or in the square. This is obviously a positive development. Do you think that we're still being typecast in these roles, or have we broken out into the mainstream? Because I've seen in your acting career, you've been in Macbeth, you've been in many, many mainstream films and theatre productions. Have we broken through now?
In a way, not really. We're still playing those sort of roles. There are more jobs, but I think the roles are still limited. Unless you get lucky with a film like, look, Dev Patel with Slumdog Millionaire, that totally took him away from everything else and gave him a kind of a great platform. If you don't have a platform like that, you still end up playing, you still end up being a jobbing actor. You go from one job to the other. But Keith, what's happening now is that a lot of black and Asian actors, the minute they leave a drama school, they have a 3 years training here. The minute they leave, they go to America because they know that there they are regarded as an actor. Here, I think you are still regarded as an Asian actor or a black actor or a Chinese actor. And you know, Keith, I've got to say one thing. Our Southeast Asian actors, Chinese actors, you know, they haven't had the fair share of the work, I must say.
And how do your family cope with this acting fame? You're currently locked down with your mum. You're a devoted Gujarati son looking after your 91-year-old mum. What's her name?
I am Shantaben Patel.
And you've just been down to, as you say, collect a prescription.
Yes, that's
like
right.
A good son. And your wife is Julie. And what are your children's names?
I have 2 daughters, Maya and Kiri. Maya is 20 and Kiri is 18. They're in West Sussex. And my wife is looking after my mother-in-law, who lives in the same village. And we've decided that during this lockdown period, I look after my mother, and Julie looks after my mother-in-law, Cynthia. And
any ambitions on part of Myra and Kiri to become actors following their dad?
Well, do you know, both Maya and Kiri, they're both brilliant actors. Seen them in their school productions. Nothing to do with me. Julie has done everything there when it comes to bringing them up. I've been a weekend husband, Keith, because when I'm not in Leeds, I'm in London working on other projects, and then I go home at weekends. Maya is now at Camberwell Art School, so she wants to be a painter. She's very good at that. And Kiri wants to be an actress, but still she doesn't know. She's 18. But yeah, they can be good actors. But I think I'd rather they didn't come into our profession because it's not safe to be in my profession. It's very hard. It's hard. You really have to work hard.
Well, on behalf of all the listeners of Leica Radio 1458, you have brought us years and years of pleasure as one of our country's most successful, not just ethnic minority actors, but one of the most successful actors. We love watching you every day. And my catch-up, which is Sunday morning, when I see the whole lot in one day, carry on being a great Rishi Sharma, but also being the great actor that you are.
Thank you.
And our thanks to you and a long and successful career ahead.
Thank you.
Now, before we go, you are going to choose for us your last song and tell us what that is, what it means to you, and why you've chosen it.
It's It's a nazam. It's a song called Nazam. It's written by controlling one's thoughts and feelings, and it's by a poet called Fayaz Hashmi. Now he grew up in Calcutta, but then he wrote for Indian films and Pakistani films, and then he died in Karachi. And this ghazal or nazam, it's called Aaj Jane Ki Zid Na Karo. Now it's sung by Dr. Shoma Ghosh, and it means that please don't insist on leaving today.
Good. A very good sentiment. Bhaskar Patel, thank you so much for joining us. Please stay tuned for further interviews, amongst others, the Mayor of Tower Hamlets, John Biggs. This is Keith Vaz on Leica Radio 1458.
Leica Radio.
Aaj jaane ki zid na karo, aaj jaane ki zid na karo, aaj jaane ki zid na karo, यूं ही पहलू में बैठे रहो, यूं ही पहलू में बैठे रहो, आज जाने की जिद ना करो, हाय मर जाएंगे हम तो लुट जाएंगे, ऐसी बातें किया ना करो, आज जाने की जिद ना करो, आज जाने की जिद ना करो, हाय मर जाएंगे हम तो लुट जाएंगे, ऐसी बातें किया ना करो, आज जाने की जिद ना करो, सोचो जरा क्यों न रोके तुम्हें, जान जाती है जब उठ के जाते हो तुम, जान जाती है जब उठ के जाते हो तुम, तुमको अपनी कसम जाने जा, बात इतनी मेरी मान लो, आज जाने की जिद ना करो, यूं ही पहलू में बैठे रहो, यूं ही पहलू में बैठे रहो, आज जाने की जिद ना करो, हाय मर जाएंगे हम तो लुट जाएंगे, ऐसी बातें किया ना करो, आज जाने की जिद ना करो,
Leica Radio.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Leica Radio 1458. As you know, each week we go around the country to find out what is happening in various communities. And I'm going to talk, first of all, this week to Neelam Agrawal Singh, MBE DLJP, who has been the chairperson of the Indian Hindu Welfare Association in Northampton for 24 years. And she joins us this morning from Northampton. Good morning, Neelam.
Good morning, Keith.
Now, how is the community in Northampton coping with this crisis?
I think it has been very challenging because none of us were prepared about the lockdown. And what it has done is made us think outside of the box and be more creative, utilize the social media a lot more to make things happen. And obviously connecting with what has been created. So locally, we have a local authority with delivery service to the vulnerable and the needy and food parcels. So connecting people. But also social media, WhatsApp group, Facebook, posting messages like you've been sending information about how to stay well and healthy and eating well. So I've been posting them on Facebook, etc. So it's been challenging, but different way of working.
Now, you can't have the usual community gatherings in community halls, so is it now just WhatsApp, phone calls, emails? What's the preferred method of talking to everyone?
Yes, obviously phone calls. I receive a number of phone calls. Sometimes I will make phone calls just to check on some people, how they are doing, who needs it. And WhatsApp has been very, very good. And the Facebook, because we have over 1,000 people who are Facebook members with IHWO. So I think I feel confident that we're staying connected with people to make sure that the loneliness, the social isolation doesn't creep in.
Sure. Now, finally, you celebrate a very impressive Diwali celebration every year in Northampton where, and I can remember this from the time I visited, you have a parade around the whole centre of Northampton with the leader of the council and others. That must take a lot of organising. Are you putting on hold your plans or have you started the organisation of
Well,
Diwali
I really hope there will be no hold on plans, Keith, because this is a special milestone year for us. We are looking forward to celebrating 20 years anniversary this year. And this is how long we have been celebrating Diwali Light in Northampton, a town where people genuinely thought will never happen. And as you said, you have been to our event twice, which we've been absolutely privileged to have you here. And you know how big it is. So we start planning, Keith, as soon as we finish the last one.
Sure.
So the preparation started last year in November. It's a good thing this year is on 7th of November, which is late, our Diwali light celebrations in town. And most of the preparation is really done very early on in the year. And then we start picking it up around June, July time. So I'm confident that the Diwali light event will go ahead. And we'll offer a special event and bigger and better again this year.
Well, on behalf of all of us at Leica Radio 1458, to the Northampton community and to you as chairperson, keep doing what you're doing and stay safe. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Keith. Wishing everybody well. Thank you.
Thank you. This Wednesday, His Royal Highness Prince Charles, the Prince of Wales, the royal founding patron of the British Asian Trust, launched an appeal for funds for the Trust specifically to help communities in South Asia deal with the coronavirus crisis. Joining me now is Richard Hawkes, the Chief Executive Officer of the British Asian Trust. Good morning, Richard.
Morning.
Richard, who will you be helping by this appeal?
Coronavirus is clearly affecting the whole world, and I think all of us can see every day the terrible impact that it's having on health and the economy. But for us, we're deeply concerned about the impact of coronavirus on people living in poverty. And across the countries of South Asia, there are millions of people who live in extreme poverty, and their lives have been absolutely turned upside down by this virus. In health, We haven't yet seen the full impact of what it's going to do, but certainly at the moment, in terms of the economy across the region, is being absolutely decimated. There are hundreds of millions of people across India and Pakistan and Bangladesh and Sri Lanka who rely on daily work, and they're seeing their work disappear overnight. No job means no money. No money literally means that their families have no food to eat. So this is having a devastating impact on the lives of millions of people.
Now, you mentioned Pakistan, Bangladesh, India and Sri Lanka. How do you all actually deliver that support? Do you have partners in those countries who are able to work with you, or is this done by the British Asian Trust directly?
The way the British Asian Trust works is we have more than 10 years experience of working with the best local organisations in those countries. We always believe that it's the people on the ground and the organisations on the ground that know best what to do. Our job is to make sure that we're working with the best organisations, that we've done the due diligence, that we've assessed them and made sure that they're doing brilliant work. We've got 10 years experience of doing that. Our donors, our supporters trust that this is something that we have real expertise at, so that they can then trust that every pound they give us, the maximum impact of that pound is going to the people who need it. For this appeal, we've identified a number of organisations that we've worked with before, or current partners that are now doing emergency relief work. So there are very, very strong organisations in all 4 countries that we've done the due diligence of, and they're ready to go with the funds that we can raise for them.
I should tell our listeners that next week on Talking Points we'll be donating a large part of our programme to the appeal of the British Asian Trust, and we'll be talking to people in the subcontinent. But until then, Richard, what is the best way that people can make their donation?
Very simply, go to our website. It's BritishAsianTrust.org. Very clear on the homepage. There'll be the details of how you can just click on the right things to make your donation. You can give a general donation to the appeal, or if you want to specifically choose one of the countries, that will be possible again as well. So it's BritishAsianTrust.org. Just go to the website and all donations gratefully received.
Richard, on behalf of Leica Radio 1458 and all our listeners and all the staff who are here, we want to wish you the best of luck with this appeal, and we will do everything that we can to help you. Thank you so much for taking on this initiative.
That's tremendous. Thank you very much for support.
Leica Radio.
This is Talking Points with Keith Vaz on Leica Radio 1458 AM.
Welcome back. This is Talking Points with Keith Vaz on Leica Radio 1458. We are now going to go over to Tower Hamlets to talk to its elected mayor, John Biggs, who's been the mayor of Tower Hamlets since 2015, about how his borough is dealing with the coronavirus pandemic. Good morning, Mayor Biggs.
Good morning.
How has the council met the challenges of this incredibly dreadful crisis?
Like all councils, we found it challenging to restructure. We've had to, as they say nautically, we've had to batten down the hatches, and we've had to stop doing quite a few things, whether they are things facing the public or things which we simply don't have the staff to do because staff are off either sick or providing vital services. Our main job is to try to make sure people are safe and secure in their homes, and that they get good advice. And we act also as a support when people sick in their homes, and also when they come out of hospital. So it's about caring for people, about focusing on our core services as a council. It's also about community assurance. So we're using our comms and our media to get messages out to people about how people should behave to try to reduce the risk of spreading the virus or catching the virus.
Sure.
And how people might get support, for example, benefit support.
But in particular, the vulnerable people, the people who perhaps in the past have used food banks, have you seen an increase in demand for those kinds of facilities? And how are you all specifically helping the very vulnerable members of your community?
There are 2 types of vulnerable people, and we're focusing on both as best we can. The first group are people who are vulnerable because they have a long-term health condition, and they really have to stay at home and follow all of those safeguarding measures. And we are, together with other agencies, providing food to people, trying to do befriending services, make sure that people are kept safe. The second group of vulnerable people, which is a very large number of people as well, are people who've been plunged into economic turmoil because their jobs have come to an end. And so a lot of people in Tower Hamlets are in more casual employment, customer-facing jobs in retail or hospitality, and their jobs have come to an end, and people face enormous financial insecurity, and that's coming to us in big numbers as well.
Finally, your message to local people in Tower Hamlets it's not just, is it, stay at home? How do they work in partnership with the government and the council in order to make sure that they stay safe?
The core message is obviously stay home and protect vulnerable people in the community. Keep your social distance, wash your hands regularly. But on top of that, I want people to be good neighbours and to see what we can do as a community to defeat this. So simply doing the stuff that's good for you is important, but looking out for vulnerable people who are neighbours, supporting people who are struggling across our community, paying respect to public sector workers, those sorts of things are all part of the offer that we should make. And obviously we're now heading into a period of, I have a large Muslim community in Tower Hamlets, we're heading into the Ramadan period, and so it's a particular pressure for Muslim residents in Tower Hamlets who are facing the desire to go through the normal religious festivities, but they simply can't do it. The mosques are closed. You can't meet in big social gatherings. So we need to make sure within that community that the spirit of charity and support is nurtured and interpreted in a new way that helps people who are struggling.
John Biggs, Mayor of Tower Hamlets, thank you very much for joining us. And on behalf of everyone in Leica Radio 1458, please accept our thanks and the good wishes of our listeners to the council workers providing such a vital service to local people.
Thank you.
Leica Radio.
That's it for this week. A big thank you to all my guests, especially Emmerdale's BHASKER PATEL. He's off to Yorkshire for the rest of the day, I am sure. Thanks to the team here at Leica Radio, including station manager Sunil, producers Rupi and Lucas. The song of the week has been chosen this week by Seema from Wembley and is dedicated to her husband Farhat. Please stay tuned for Bollywood hits that follows the news. This has been Keith Vaz on Leica Radio 1458, signing off with Kala Chashma.
लड़कों के दिलों में तू आग लगा दे बेबी फायर नकली से न करे तू करे जब देखे हमें झूठी लायर काला काला चश्मा जचता तेरे मुखड़े पे जैसे काला दिल जचता है तेरे चेहरे पे अपनी अदाओं से ज्यादा नहीं तो 10-12 लड़के तो मार ही देती होगी तू दिन में
तुझे जैसे 36 फिरते हैं मेरे वर्गी और न होनी वे वर्गी और न होनी वर्गी और न होनी तू मुंडा बिल्कुल देसी है मैं कटरी ना तो सोनी वे मैं फेड अप हो गई हूं मुंडिया मैं फेड अप हो गई हूं मुंडिया सुन सुन के तेरे दुखने वे मैनू काला चश्मा ओ मैनू काला 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 ओ मैनू काला चश्मा जचदा है गोरे मुखड़े ते मैनू काला चश्मा जचदा है गोरे मुखड़े ते जचदा है गोरे मुखड़े ते
सड़कों पे चले जब लड़कों के दिलों में तू आग लगा दे बेबी फायर
ओ मैनू
नकली से न करे तू करे जब देखे हमें झूठी लायर
ओ मैनू काला चश्मा ओ मैनू काला काला चश्मा ए काला चश्मा ओ काला 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 काला
चश्मा जचदा है गोरे मुखड़े ते काला चश्मा जचदा है गोरे मुखड़े ते काला चश्मा जचदा है
Supporting all restaurants.